Hey fans, viewers, and listeners, welcome to another exciting episode of Fight Insight Podcast. I'm your host for today, Raine Cruz, also known as Ringside Raine, ring announcer for Up Next Fighting. And with me as always is Timmy B. Today, we will talk with Denis the Menace Frimpong from Octagon MMA. Plus, we will talk about the problems at PFL and Bellator, discuss Jamal Hill's recent tweet about his support system, and how mental and emotional health affects our fighters. All that and more. So please stick here with us. Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
Raine, I am so excited. Our guest today is from a growing and rising promotion, Octagon MMA. They began in 2016 and have really started to put out quality content, fights. They've been hitting my feed like crazy in the last little while. It's like the black and yellow. People will know it when you see it. They are based in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. They just held Octagon 56, where this man won by decision for his second win in a row with that promotion. He's born in Ireland and fights out of Manchester Top Team. I'm so grateful for him to be here today, Raine, because this guy was going crazy on my social media feeds. This guy is, he may be insane. I don't know. Octagon actually messaged me and said, this guy's crazy. Just ask him anything and he will go off on it. So Raine, welcome him in.
Please welcome Denis the Menace Frimpong.
I definitely wasn't expecting that sort of an intro, but yeah, nice to be on. Thank you so much, guys.
What's going on, Denis? Thank you so much, man, for joining the podcast, dude. You are our first ever Octagon MMA fighter. And I mean, I'm so excited because that promotion is blowing up. And you are one of the stars leading the charge, my friend. How are you feeling? And how are you after that big fight?
Yeah, obviously it's great to be with a promotion like Octagon. As you guys just said, you know, they're only going since 2016, so they're relatively new. But they're already doing big things. You know, they've done a few of these reality shows, Octagon Challenge. That's how I actually got in with them. They've expanded into a couple of different regions now. So Germany first, and then now the UK and Ireland. And, you know, they've done a few little other projects. They have a few more projects in the works. And yeah, they've got a couple big cards this year in football stadiums. So I think one of them's set to be, if it sells out, it's set to be like the 6th biggest MMA event of all time. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, the character that I am, they allow me to shine as that character and sort of build my fan base and build my name on the global scene.
Yeah, nice, dude. And I said it in the intro, you're born and raised in Ireland, correct?
So I was raised in Ireland. I was actually born in Austria.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've a bit of a mad, like I've traveled around a lot as a young kid, and then we eventually settled in Ireland when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So, but yeah.
Okay, and then I saw on one of your Instagram posts you speak Czech.
I don't speak Czech. No. I don't speak Czech. I speak Slovenian.
Okay.
My mum.
Slovenian.
I'm actually half Slovenian on my mum's side. But it's quite similar to Czech. Like a lot of Slavic languages have like a lot of similarities. So like I can understand bits of Czech and stuff like that. But most of the time, if I'm like, you know, slagging off any of the Czech fighters on the roster, I use Google Translate. To be fair.
Nice. And okay, so the reason why I especially got you on my radar was you're on there, you're trash talking this dude during weigh-ins. And to be fair, normally I'm like, I hope this guy gets beat down for being so brash and crazy. But what was funny was the other guy, like he looked scared. Like he wasn't really responding to you at all. Like, well, what the hell was going on? Why did you hate this guy so much? You're like,
I mean, I don't hate anyone that I fight. I don't have any animosity towards them, but I do understand the art of war, and I do understand that, like, if you're not mentally sound going into a fight and mentally zoned in and focused, it can throw you off your game a little bit, and the mind and body connection can maybe not be there a little bit. And even if it's a 2% decrease in your performance, it's those little millimeters that make a difference. So I'll do what I can to sort of get in someone's head.
Nice.
The best part about it was that like up until that point, we'd been sort of cordial, and we'd been sort of like I'd almost drawn him into a false sense of security and thinking that we were kind of going to be friendly and it was going to be all goody goody. We were going to be respectful, and then I switched it on him the last minute. So I think that sort of threw him off a little bit, and maybe it did affect his performance. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it wouldn't have changed the result. But game is game. So.
Yeah, man. No, I agree, man. I think those things matter. I think like the mental state of a fighter, of a performer, of anything as a podcaster, it matters. Like if you've got something going on mentally and you're off, man, it can mess you up. Like you're really nerves and any of that stuff. Like it just throws you off. I do want to read something here. This was I saw this like in an Irish newsletter or something, and it was talking about you when I was researching you, and it says Frimpong was the star of Octagon MMA's reality TV show Octagon Challenge England versus Ireland, which is what you talked about. So there's the reality show. But then it says where he won 2 fights on the show. His brash style, both inside and outside of the cage, is quickly gaining him fans and haters alike across the roster. I'm like, what kind of article is saying that you're getting a bunch of haters? Are you getting lots of hate there, Dennis?
Yeah, 100%. Like, but
Really?
at the end of it, yeah, of course. Like, I do definitely rub a lot of people the wrong way. I have in the past, obviously. When you push the envelope a bit, it's the same with like comedians or like anyone. You push the envelope, and sometimes you burst the envelope a little bit. But for me, it's like, how do you find out where is the line? Like, where do we draw the line? Unless you take a step on the very edge of the line, sometimes you might cross the line a little bit. You have to take a little step back then. But I do like to live life on the edge like that. And yeah, as a result, I've definitely got some haters, but those haters eventually turn into fans anyway. Like a lot of my fans hated me at the start. Came to see me perform, booed me as I walked out, saw me perform in the cage, and then ended up becoming fans of mine and asking me for selfies. So.
That's the best, dude. That's the way, man. You win them over with your skill and with everything that you're doing, which is awesome. I'm going to put it out here. Octagon MMA, when you were growing up as like a young kid and you're developing into a fighter, was Octagon MMA on your radar, or how did you get with that promotion?
I'll be honest, yeah. Octagon, as I said, they're only going since 2016. I'll be honest, I only started training, like obviously I'm 29 now. I only started training MMA and like fighting MMA when I was 26. Yeah, I'm not really in the game that long. Obviously I did a bit of jiu-jitsu before that, but I was sort of pretty focused on like I'm gonna be a world champion in jiu-jitsu. And like going through my gradings, getting my belts, going up to black belt, winning the worlds at jiu-jitsu. And then just through happenstance, COVID happened. Plans didn't really go as they wanted to go. Life tends to come in the way of things. But then I decided to go into MMA and Octagon. I only really started hearing about them a year ago, maybe, maybe just over a year ago. Yeah,
right.
they were because as I say, they only just expanded into the UK and Ireland.
Right.
And when I started training Manchester top team, Jonas Magard, he's actually competing in June or in July for the bantamweight belt that he lost. He was the bantamweight champion at the time. I only found out about Octagon through him. And I didn't know how big of a deal they were in Europe until he sort of showed me videos of him walking out in the O2 Arena in Prague with like 22,000 people. And I'm like, what? Like, how have I not heard of these? You know what I mean? And obviously when the opportunity came around then for me to sign with them or to get on the show, build myself up in with them and obviously being on a reality show and being the person that I was, it was like an Ultimate Fighter style thing. We're all living in a house together. We all have to fight each other. I just knew that it would suit my style. I used to have to trash talk people online where they can just block you or just like ignore your messages. But now I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to live with me. Like you're not gonna be able to just you can't
That's
get
the
away from it. You
worst.
know what I mean? Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, you're eating breakfast, I'm trash talking you. You know,
Oh,
you're in the toilet, I'm locking the toilet door. You know, we're going to buy water balloons, we're water ballooning you, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it just suited me, and yeah, it was a good experience to be fair.
No, that's awesome, man. Like I said, like when I posted that you're coming on the podcast, the Octagon MMA page wrote to me and said, "This guy's the greatest. Like, he's a funny guy. He's a character. Like, just ask him anything." And the guy's got stories. For those of us because I'm in Toronto, Canada, and Raine is in California, United States. I don't think we get that show. To be fair, right? Like I haven't heard of it. I haven't seen it. What's the most crazy thing that you did on that show?
To be honest, yeah, like
everything.
between me and the Irish team, we did some stuff that wasn't even caught on camera. It was pretty bad, but because obviously the cameras weren't always rolling. But
Mhm.
I think the worst thing that was caught on camera was probably getting toilet water. Like I got like a water gun. Do you know those ones where you pull a thing and it pulls the water in? Went to a toilet in the gym we were in, pulled water out of the toilet, and then sprayed a guy that I was going to be fighting with toilet water.
Oh my
And
God.
he was just after doing a training session, so he was all sweaty. It was warm. It was like humid. So he was like, he didn't know it was toilet water. So he's like enjoying it, embracing it, like, yeah, it's so refreshing. And then we were there shouting like, yeah, lick it, Hassan, lick it. And he like licks it. I was like, nah, that everyone lost their shit at that point. So yeah, that was probably the worst one to be fair. But
That's
there was like a
terrible.
lot. Yeah, for those of you in North America, I think you might still be able to watch it. It's all on YouTube.
Oh,
So
okay.
there
Good.
is a way for you to, yeah, it should be on the Octagon UK and Ireland YouTube channel.
Okay.
So I believe you'll be able to catch all of it there. There's some good fights on it as well, and as I say, loads of antics.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Okay, first of all, you're a terrible human being. But secondly, like I'm gonna go check it out, dude, because here's the thing. So now you're over there in Europe. PFL are you gonna get in trouble if you talk about PFL? No, right?
I don't know. I can talk about them. I just
Yeah.
can't promote them.
No, not promote them. I mean, are you okay to
Yeah,
bash them? Like,
yeah.
okay, you'll actually get a raise if you bash them. PFL is over there in Europe doing their like Europe thing. Dude, I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the product that they're putting out. They buy Bellator. And yet a whole bunch of their fighters, like I don't know if you saw it, Gegard Mousasi was coming out complaining that
Mm.
that they're not paying him or they're not giving him fights. He doesn't know what the hell's happening. The Sleek Sheik, he was out posting just on the weekend saying that he has medical bills from his last Bellator fight and nobody's compensating him. Like, there's a lot of really negative publicity going on about PFL. But they have the PFL European season over there. If you were to say, like, is Octagon bigger than PFL in Europe? I feel like it
Um,
is.
I mean, if you were to compare PFL Europe and
Yeah.
Octagon, I would say Octagon are definitely bigger in
Mm.
terms of like obviously in the UK so far, they've not like sold out arenas yet, but like PFL are not doing 22,000 seater sold out arenas
That's
anywhere in Europe. As I said, like in 6 weeks, there's going to be a football stadium in Prague, 35,000 seater. That's going to be sold out. I'm pretty sure it's like 95% sold out already.
yeah.
There's a 55,000 seater in Frankfurt in October. Football stadium again. As I said, sixth biggest event behind like a few Pride events and like UFC Australia.
Right.
That's gonna be probably sold out. 55,000 seater. And they're putting on shows regularly, like every month, sometimes even every 3 weeks. There is an Octagon somewhere.
Right.
Wow.
So in terms of yeah, in terms of like this, how much they're generating, how much hype they're generating, how much interest they garner in the fighters in terms of like our personal lives and building the fighters up, I don't think the PFL can compete with that. Plus, just my style, stylistically, I like elbows, and PFL not allowing elbows is a bit of a. It's not really a full MMA fight, is it? It's more like an exhibition fight.
But they only don't allow elbows in the season. But I guess everybody's in the season in PFL, right? To be fair, I don't watch too much.
I, I,
It's the
I
season,
think
but
like the
if you're if you're not in the season, you can use elbows. I think, like if you're just on a one-off fight.
I think it's just since Bellator got bought that on the Bellator fights they do allow elbows, but I think that might only be since they bought Bellator, because even before that, like a couple guys from my gym have fought on PFL Europe, not in the season, and they didn't allow elbows. So,
yeah, that's very weird, dude. You know, because so I commentate for an organization out in Eastern Canada called Fight League Atlantic. And when I was commentating their last pay-per-view, if it's an amateur fight, the rule set is you can't strike to the head of a grounded opponent. And of course, that's for safety and all that, right? When you're an amateur. Okay. But it's a big game changer, because when you get the guy in the ground, now you have to go for submission. You can't ground and pound. You're not going to ground and pound to the body, right? Like it's not going to work. So it's a real game changer. If you can't use elbows as a professional fighter, that's crazy, dude, especially for a guy like you. And for people that haven't watched Denis the Menace fight, dude, very long, rangy, beautiful strikes from distance. Like you're a striker, you're a sniper. And to hear that you're also a BJJ black belt and world jiu-jitsu guy, I didn't know that.
No. Awesome. I'm not a black belt. My aim was at that time to become a black belt, but since I stopped training jiu-jitsu, I haven't been graded. So I'm still a blue belt, weirdly enough, all this time later. But
so you're sandbagging to win tournaments with your blue belt. What a cheater!
At this point, I'm cement bagging. It's not even sandbagging anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I said because I just saw the news that Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson is apparently only a brown belt, and I was like, I think he's doing that so he can win brown belt tournaments. What a cheater! People are getting mad at me. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, Alex Pereira is a black belt, though. Makes no sense.
There you go. Yeah. That's crazy, though, that Octagon MMA is growing so big. I mean, you got to think all those Saudis that invested all that money in PFL, and they're not doing well over here. They're not doing well over there. They're getting attacked by UFC here. They're getting attacked by Octagon over there. Like they're in trouble, man. I don't know what they're doing, buddy.
I mean, they're gonna. I would say they're probably gonna end up going into like the Middle Eastern market a bit more. That would probably be the move for them. But I mean, as long as I'm in Octagon are taking over Europe. Let's be honest, because I don't know anyone in PFL that has the same kind of character as me, that brings the same sort of exciting style that I bring. And, it's not just me either. There's other guys on Octagon as well that they've signed from the UK and Irish scene that are bringing excitement, the likes of Shamrock. We seen, performed in the same card as myself. Even Andrei Kalashnik, even though he's Czech, and everyone thinks I hate the Czechs, but he's funny, like I like the sort of comedy style that he brings. He's sort of self-deprecating, but somehow makes it funny,
Yeah. No, look, you need to create stars. You need to create people because, as Octagon is growing, they need stars to be able to back, right? That said, you just won your fight. Who is next for Denis the Menace? Who do you have your eyes set on?
Anyone, to be honest, but I had a guy that promised to fight me in 6 weeks' time. This is back in January. He said he'd fight me in June on that football stadium card in Eden. His name's Andrei Petrosek. So we're just waiting to see if he hasn't lost his arse. But so far, I called him out on the microphone after my fight in the weekend. I got back to the hotel room. I went to tag him on Instagram, and he's vanished. And I thought he just blocked me. I thought he blocked me, but turns out he's deleted his whole Instagram. So we don't know. We don't know. We're going to find out now in the next few days. Listen, he went running. He went running.
I mean, that's pretty bad. You 30-24'd a guy without even stepping in the cage.
That was a TKO. He went missing. In fact, he didn't. A verbal tap.
A verbal tap.
Due to verbal strikes. I mean, we've never seen it before.
Outrageous.
That's crazy, man. I'm going to show this. I mean, I was going to talk about it with Raine here, but I'll ask you since you're here. And I've got your Instagram down on the bottom here for people that are listening only on audio. It's at Dennis_Frimpong_MMA. I'll put your Instagram on the show notes. Is that the best place to go find you? Like when people want to know more about you, they go to your Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram. I'm not really I'm a bit too old for being active on TikTok. I am on TikTok, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, to be honest.
Okay. How's your OnlyFans? How's your OnlyFans going?
Not going just yet. So
no,
no, I can't imagine I'll be doing any of that. But I might start putting some fight content and some tutorials and stuff like that on OnlyFans. But
yeah,
we'll see
I don't know.
That
that's weird to me, man. When people do something other than sex stuff on OnlyFans, I'm like, people are just gonna think that's what it is. I don't understand. Like,
I swear, Diego Sanchez had an OnlyFans for a while, didn't he?
Yo, you know what happened with that? That was all like,
yeah, he was getting pimped out by that. What's his name?
Manager guy.
Yeah, he was like his coach manager. What was his name again? Faria. Yeah, Faria.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. That whole situation is weird.
Yeah, and like not only that, but like Raine, I don't know if you were following that. Like there's like hidden camera videos of like where the guy Joshua Fabia or whatever, where like they're in the house and he's like, you have to sign this because you owe me money because you've ruined my life. Like that's the manager talking to him going, you owe me money. Your mother doesn't like me. Like weird stuff. And it's like hidden cameras that like we're all recording the conversations. It's like super messed up, man. Like I hope that Diego's okay because like we said, like, you know, people's mental states and stuff like that can get messed up. But if you have like a manager or someone around you that's like really messing you up, dude, I don't know, man. Are you okay, Dennis? You've got a good manager. You're okay. Do you need Raine to manage you or anything?
Listen, I'm all right for management now, but listen, okay. I half manage myself. You know, I promote myself. I call my own shots, and I only have a manager to read contracts because I'm not that good at legal jargon. But other than that,
all right. Raine, do you have anything that you want to ask Mr. Dennis, the Menace?
Yeah. So I can see that you're wearing a UFC sweatshirt. Am I right? That's UFC, right?
No.
Is it not? No.
Why would you call that out, Raine? He just got fired now.
No, because
I'm gonna get fined for this now.
My question to you is UFC the ultimate goal for Dennis the Menace?
Nah. I think there's other ways now to have a career. Like I know there's guys in Octagon that are a bit further on in their career, obviously, than myself, but they're getting paid really well. And if they were to go with UFC, they'd be taking a pay cut. And I'll be honest, like, you know, I compare it to football. You know, like what we call football, you call soccer over there, right? But like I think any young kid who's playing football, their dream would probably be to play for Real Madrid because they're like the pinnacle of football teams, right? But like if you didn't play for Real Madrid and you played for like Man United, you wouldn't be like, oh, boo, I play for Man United. Do you know what I mean? Like you still like, you know, the UFC is obviously like the most known. Like people ask you, do you do UFC, bro? But I mean, I'm happy to cement a legacy in Octagon. My dream with MMA was always to become a world champion and make enough money that I could do this as a full-time job and live good, you know. And I feel like I can do that at Octagon. I just need to get that belt. I want to break all the records. I want to break, you know, bonus records. I want to break KO records, defend the belt, you know, 10, 15 times, hold the belt for as long as I can, maybe even get double champ status, and just cement my legacy in Octagon, because I feel like they're growing that fast that they'll be a massive competitor of the UFC anyway. And if it gets to a point where the MMA community at large is like, that Dennis Frimpong is the best lightweight outside of the UFC, then, you know, it'll be like a Ben Askren situation where people are going, oh, we need to see him in the UFC. We need to see him in the UFC. That's when maybe I'll start looking at it. When I'm like in my 30s and I've done all I can do at Octagon. I feel like there's nothing more for me to do, but there's still so much for me to do in Octagon that, yeah, I can't see myself anywhere else at the moment.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. One of the things
This was a gift, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it a free shirt?
and the gift didn't come with like a gift receipt that you could return it, right? Like you got to say that too. That's why you kept it. Yeah. Okay. No, but we always talk about it, Raine. Like we need other organizations to exist. We need other organizations to succeed because we want fighters all around the world to have places to go. You can't have one place. Yeah. It's opportunity. And it makes the sport better, right? It grows people. It grows other superstars. Denis, there's like we were talking about, there's Gay Guard. There's a lot of fighters that seem in limbo, especially with Bellator fighters that kind of haven't gotten to fight in the PFL. They don't really know what's going on. I just saw Sergio Pettis is fighting Horiguchi in Risen. Like, why wouldn't that on a Bellator card, right? Is there anyone in Bellator that you had your eye on that you'd want to beat up?
There's a few Bellator PFL. Yeah. There's a few guys. At lightweight, I think Aaron Pico's a lightweight now, isn't he?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, he can get the smoke. He can get the smoke. Nice. Muhammad Ali's grandson, I believe. What's his name again?
Oh.
He was actually meant to fight a guy I fought at amateur not too long ago. Oh, what is his name? It's some mad Italian name, but I forget his name. But yeah, he's Muhammad Ali's grandson anyway. That, just as a legacy fight, would be great. Obviously the PFL Bellator, I suppose you could call it the same thing, but the PFL European champion from last year, Jakub, I'm not going to try and even butcher his name, but he's a Polish guy. He won the European tournament last year. He's in the European tournament again this year, at lightweight, and yeah, I'd like to fight him, at some point. Yeah. Maybe he might even end up in Octagon at some stage because he's Polish, right? So maybe they'll be able to nab him. But
yeah, or because if eventually, you got to think, if you're a mixed martial artist, you're doing this as a pro, why would you not want to be able to use your elbows? It does seem weird to me. It really limits you as a fighter. And I just think even just for your own legacy, to say that I only fought there when I could never use elbows, that would always be a little bit of an asterisk on your record, right?
100%.
It's almost 100%. Not the same sport, to be honest, right?
Yeah, it's a limited version of the reason I like MMA over boxing or Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu is because it's as close to a real fight as you can get. There's as little rules. In fact, even with MMA unified rules, I take out some of the rules. I take out the 12-6 shit. I'd allow headbutts. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if I can grab your head in a plum and smash my knee into your face, why shouldn't I be able to just bump my head into your head? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit asinine, that whole rule, but yeah, it's the closest thing. And taking elbows out is a big thing, because one elbow can change a fight. You slice someone open, now they're bleeding. Exactly. Maybe they've never seen their own blood before, and it's a different fight then,
And then, because even the way you train and stuff, because imagine if you're Chris Weidman, right? You're training those eye pokes. You're throwing 1-2s with your fingers outstretched to poke eyes. It's a different game. You gotta learn.
John Jones eye pokes.
Yeah. There's an instructional video you can buy and you can learn how to poke eyes. Denis, man, look. There's one record that you also have to beat as you become a professional, and that's the most guest appearances on the Fight Insight podcast. You're going to have to aim for that one too. Don't forget that record.
Who's been on it the most so far?
Dude, it's a tough one though. It's UFC veteran Brian Bam Bam Barberena.
Brian Bam Bam, big Tuivasa,
No, not that Bam Bam. Bam Bam Barberena, the guy that wears the overalls.
Is he still in the UFC?
He just fought recently. We don't know what's happening next, but he's been on 10 times.
10, fucking hell.
10. So You got to get going. You know what I mean?
You know what? Listen, I'll just get on after every fight. How about that?
That's the way,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, that's the best.
Next, and I'm an active guy, so by the end of the year, we should have at least another 5 done.
All right. That sounds good, man. Look, I'm going to ask you a last question, if you don't mind. It's a question that my mom used to ask me all the time growing up. I want to ask it to you now. Denis Frimpong, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Shama.
Is that 9?
Shama. What, in general or right now? Like,
however you want to take that question, my friend.
I'm never happy. I'm never happy. I'm always happy, but I'm never happy.
Okay.
Because I'm always happy with where I'm at, but I'm always happy to be happier.
Oh, okay.
What is something that you would like that would make you happier? Like, what's something that you're striving for, maybe?
A world title and more than £5 in my bank account.
That's a good goal. Good short-term goal. What is the Vigor 8 shower? Did you win something?
The Vigor 8 shower gel. So Vigor 8 shower gel, shout out them, they're a sponsor of mine. They are antibacterial, antifungal, shampoo and shower gel, all in one. They have no like harmful chemicals in it. It's all natural ingredients. So if you want to get some of that, link in my bio, you get a discount with my code, and they will sort you right out. It doesn't have any of those hormone blockers as well that you find in most shampoos these days.
Are those parabens?
Yeah.
Paraffins, that's the one.
Oh, yeah. I don't like those paraffins, those bastards. All right. Denis, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, dude. I'm so happy, man. Octagon MMA has to be on people's radar now, right? There's a lot of negativity
100%.
around Bellator and PFL. ONE FC, there's a little bit of weird stuff going on there too. Octagon is the new guy in the house. They're growing. They're an MMA organization. They're putting on great shows. Like you said, they're in stadiums, football stadiums.
That's
Unheard of.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
So listen, any lightweights that are unhappy at PFL, Bellator, ONE FC, come to Octagon, come get this smoke.
That's it. Dude, I'm so excited, man. I'm excited for you. I'm so glad that I got to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Once you're a friend of the podcast, we'll always be talking about your future fights and stuff like that. We'll keep people updated. Again, it's at Denis_Frimpong_MMA on Instagram. Go check him out. Go check out his appearances while he's shooting pee-pee water at people on the show.
There was so much more than that. Like, honestly, like I think it's like 8 episodes. It's great, honestly. It's a good watch. It's better than The Ultimate Fighter. There's like a few more there's like a different dynamic to it than The Ultimate Fighter. There's we have to work as a team in a lot of different situations. So
do you plan your antics though, or is it something like, okay, I feel like I'm about to do this? Like you just think of it like right there and then?
Oh, they took our phones off us and all that. So me and the Irish team were just sat in the house and bored, and it was like, right, what can we do? The TV didn't work. There was no PlayStation. There was a PlayStation that didn't work. So we ended up just like, what can we do to keep ourselves entertained? We just think of horrible shit to do to the English team. You know, it was revenge for 800 years of colonization. So,
well, you've solved the problem. It's all water on the bridge now, my friend. Dude, I'm so excited.
It's all water out of the toilet.
I like it. Dude, it was great to meet you, man. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. We'll definitely have you back again. And tell all your Octagon MMA friends, send them our way, like the good ones, though, not the boring people. Send us the good.
Hey, get Andrei Kalashnik on. He is brilliant, honestly.
Okay.
He is brilliant. Okay. But yeah, I'll definitely let them know. I'll send you a few names to get in touch.
Yeah,
with.
man. Send me some, because I'd love to meet you guys. You guys are the new kids on the block, and very excited to meet you all. So thanks, buddy, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, thank you for having me on, and thank you for that great intro, Raine. That was
hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it.
Probably the best podcast intro I've ever had, to be honest.
Aw.
Oh,
Well, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for, joining us today. And I got to announce you. It's an honor.
do you want to
Thank you.
announce him out? Say goodbye and announce him out.
Announce him.
And the winner is.
Yeah.
And the winner, Denis, the Menace, Frimpong.
Yes.
All right, buddy.
No,
Have a good one, man.
Thanks,
She's not going to stop talking about the compliment now that you gave her for the rest of the show.
I know. That's going to be the next half hour of this episode.
That's a week worth of compliments when you get a compliment off me.
Yeah, wow, very nice, very nice. All right, have a good one, my friend.
Nice one, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for spending the time. Bye-bye. All right, Raine.
Amazing.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
And again, we have a fighter who comes to us right after their fight. I'm always so appreciative of that because, and plus it's late where he is. Like we said, it's like 10:30 at night for him. So thank you so much to Denis.
So does he technically live in the future? Because it's like Monday afternoon for us. He's like basically like Monday night now where he is, right?
Yeah. So essentially what we know, might be paused out here. How come every time our guests leave, it freezes out on us for
I think there's like a little glitch, like, oh, something just left the podcast. Yeah, someone left the podcast. So,
but anyways, yeah, I mean, he is in the future. So what's good is that we know that for the next 5 to 6 hours, aliens don't invade Earth.
Yes,
he was okay.
Yeah,
so that's good. That's good news. Raine, friends of the podcast update don't really have much. All I've got is that, if you need other audio podcasts, go check out RageWorks Podcast Network at rageworksnetwork.com. Go check them out for other audio podcasts. Next week on the podcast, in terms of a guest, I'm not 1,000,000% sure. I sent you, I sent you something and you gave me a time. I sent it to the guest. I'm really looking to get the owner and president of Bare Knuckle Fighting, BKFC, David Feldman, on this show. I think it's going to happen. It's just scheduling conflicts for the last 6 months have always kind of bumped us around. But I would love to talk to that dude. BKFC, huge organization. I love it. Obviously, anybody who listens to this podcast knows I love it. And they've got Knuckle Mania 4 coming up this week. So that's Knuckle Mania 4 is going to be a massive show. So we would be talking to him after that, which is crazy. So cross fingers for that one. And then in 2 weeks, I have a special guest, Raine. I'm going to tell you now. Okay? I think this is coming.
Chuck Buffalo.
Mark Bowden. No. Chuck Buffalo still talks to me sometimes on Instagram and stuff. He'll still message me a little bit. So it's going to happen. It's just, I don't know when. At this point now, I'm just waiting until he has another fight scheduled to really start pushing it, No, the next guest is the guest in 2 weeks is going to be Mark Bowden. He's the world's #1 body language expert.
Oh,
we had him on the show in our first year. He's crazy on LinkedIn, TED Talks. He has a show, I think, on the new Dr. Phil network, but he's all about body language and what it means. And I thought it'd be amazing for us, Raine, especially with you now. He can talk to you about the body language of an announcer and what that means and what you should be doing to kind of engage the crowd with your body.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay. I like that. Sometimes I feel like I look
less
awkward.
than impressed.
No, because I feel like I look awkward.
But that's what I mean. So anyway, he was in the first appearance. He talked.
Fix my suit.
Yeah. That's pretty bad. What you just did.
I know.
So, anyways, he's going to come on. We talked to him last time about when fighters are doing their face-offs and when they have their hands in different positions. What does that mean? So he tells us about those things. So we'll talk to him about that. That's going to be exciting. And then just tons of other stuff coming up. So, did you know about Octagon MMA before today?
No, and I actually just followed them, and they have 634,000 followers, I believe.
Yeah.
624,000 followers. So, yeah, they're a big promotion in Europe, and I'd love to check them out. Because when Denis said that they're selling out football stadiums, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy. What's happening. We were talking about Bellator and things. So let me just put up some stuff here. Hold on. So make sure you go follow Denis. We did the Friends of the Podcast update. Here's something, Raine. She really hates us. I don't know if you saw what happened, but I posted a little bit of our clip about Kayla Harrison. And Kayla Harrison essentially told us to F off.
Oh yeah, I saw the back and forth, and I could understand why she felt that way.
Yeah.
I I think like the first part of the video,
Yes.
it might have been like offensive towards her. So I truly understand why she felt that way.
Yeah. So she's never coming on. She's never coming on the podcast. That's for sure. But here's the thing, Raine. First of all, we said it multiple times in the podcast, of course, that we weren't saying that she did anything or whatever, right? And the joke that I start the reel with is like, that's a lady we're looking at, Raine. You're right, like, but you got to know you're looking freaking massive, right? And Raine, here's the thing: there's no other females that look like that, though. You know what I mean? Like, not really. So it is strange that, like, why do you look so different from everybody else?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, honestly, like for me, I honestly think she's beautiful. I've always admired like women who are like, who like who look like her, like you.
Yes.
It shows the work that you had put in, towards yourself. It's 100%. Not something that you can just like fake, It's like if you work out, you put into work, you gain muscle and all that. Right. So I find it beautiful, honestly.
I do too, Raine, but I think like, you've got to know what people are thinking though. Mm-hmm. That's like when I used to work a desk job and this one lady came to work one day, like a lady, like she was like in her, I would say like late 30s, early 40s. Mm-hmm. She had full chest tattoo. And she looked like everywhere else. She looked like she's just a mom. But she would wear like low cut shirts with a full chest tattoo. And it's like you got to know what people are going to think or what, like, you can't be surprised if someone says something off or if someone stares, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like,
but I mean, if you think about it, it's like, whatever, it kind of goes back to like, it's all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's all subjective. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're damn if you do, damn if you don't. You work out too much, you gain so much muscle, then you look like, for a woman, then now you look like manly, right? But then for some people, it's like you don't work out, then, it looks like, okay, what are you doing? Why are you not working out? Like,
Yeah. It was interesting though, because I was getting lots of comments back and forth from fighters, from professional fighters, and people were all over the place in their comments. Mm-hmm. Like some professional fighters were like really upset about things, and some people were defending things, and some fighters were saying like we should just allow stuff, just allow, like, don't have USADA at all, don't have any rules like that. Like, and I was like, and then to that person I was like, well, yeah, because that's a safety thing, right? Because then next thing you know, like, people are dying over like taking things. So I mean, it's a safety reason as well as a fairness, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think that's important too. But anyways, sparked a lot of conversation, a lot of debate. We never mean to hurt anybody's feelings or like be insulting to anybody, but it's a conversation to be had because there were some people that wrote in. Someone sent me an article that said, and again, not saying that anybody is on anything or anything like that. Definitely not, right? Obviously, no proof of anything, and that's not what we're saying. Our conversation was more about the generalness of it. You know what I mean? But there was someone that sent me an article, and the article was from Menno Henselman's Science, blah, 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 whatever. Some study that says steroids may give permanent muscle memory advantage, study finds. And it was talking about muscle memory and stuff like that. And it's saying that, like, if you were to go on steroids and your muscles get really big, your muscles remember that. And so even when you're off the stuff, when you start working out, they can re-achieve that, which is very interesting. So anyways, lots of stuff. I'm sure we'll get into it later, but just wanted to say, that's not great. Bellator, what the heck? Raine, Bellator is releasing like their cards, like for their upcoming fights. It's craziness, Raine. Here's this card here. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here. This is Bellator, whatever, Champion Series in Paris, May 17th.
Do we have any friends of the podcast in that card or no?
No friends of the podcast here. But the kicker is there's only one championship fight. Okay. And previously it was stated by, let me just go over here. It was stated by Peter Murray, the CEO. Let me take this off the screen. It was previously stated by Peter Murray, CEO of the PFL. He says that we're excited about the new format, which is to have 2 title fights and 1 big contender fight on the top of every card. There's only 1 title fight. You're only 5 months into your promise, and it's already being ruined, Raine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can they not figure this out? It's so crazy to me that, like, you know what I mean? And then, here's the other kicker, Raine. Then he goes on to say, women will play a role in the Bellator Champions Series. We're going to sign more women and make that an emphasis. Raine, count the number of women you see on this poster.
Let's see. I see 2 for a bout. So that means 1 female belt in the card.
So of 10 fights, 1 fight is a woman fight. I don't know, Raine. When you're only having so few cards, like you only have 8 cards in the year, they said 2 title fights. Nope, not happening. They said women are going to be a focus. Nope, not happening.
Well, that could be an issue with, they probably didn't have enough female fighters to feature on this card.
I don't know.
That could be it too.
You got to go find, but you got to go find some then, Raine. You got to go. There's got to be women out there in the world. Here's something. How about this, Raine? This came up on my Instagram. Did you see the poster for this?
No.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is Elle Brooke versus Paige VanZant for the Misfit Boxing Women's Middleweight title. Okay, so Raine, don't get everybody mad. You know who Paige VanZant is, right?
No.
Oh, God. All right. She was a UFC fighter. She was kind of like the good-looking girl on the block.
Okay.
She did not have glorious UFC success. She then went on to she actually wrestled a little bit with AEW, but she then went to bare knuckle, where she lost 2 or 3 fights. I don't think she has any wins in bare knuckle. In amongst all that, she starts OnlyFans a lot, and it's very like sexual, right? I don't know what's on it. I don't buy it. But whatever. But it's a lot of that kind of material. Now she's fighting Misfits Boxing, which is like an influencer boxing league. And their champion, Elle Brooke, I looked this up because I did not know, she's like some massive OnlyFans girl, but it's like a lot of like sex stuff. That's where Paige VanZant has gone, Raine. And again, you don't know her anyways, fine. But she was like a high level, like she wasn't the best, but like she made it to the UFC. She got wins in the UFC.
Yeah.
And then you go bare knuckle. She got beat up quite a bit. And then now you're at Misfits Boxing?
I guess like for me, it's like she's throwing the darts and seeing which one of them will land. It's still like, finding opportunities for herself.
Getting paid.
Yeah.
But can you imagine she loses to a girl who I looked up her record. I think she's 4-1. But again, you're fighting like influencers. Right? So not like boxers.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's why for her, she, thought it's like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to get back in the scene. And now I'm facing someone who's not really, a fighter. Right. So that might be for her. Hey, she thinks she has an advantage. But again, I think for me, if it's an opportunity for her to showcase her talent, get paid, right? Why not?
I guess. You're so nice, Raine. You're
No,
way
I'm
too nice.
just saying. It's like,
Even
look,
even the even the Elle Brooke girl. I saw a video where she's saying like she's like, this is win-win for me. She goes, I
mhm.
either beat a former UFC fighter or Paige VanZant beats me, and everybody's gonna go, who cares? You beat up an OnlyFans girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
she's like,
that's the thing. It's like for Elle, it's like trying, for her to basically
yeah,
proving herself, right? That hey, I'm
yeah,
not just like an OnlyFans girl, I can fight too.
yeah,
So I think there's still like that story of like, I think at the end of the day, both women are getting opportunities that, to be honest, there's not a lot of opportunities for women. So I think for them, good for them, to have something like
yeah.
that.
It's crazy to where we've seen Paige VanZant go. I think that's the problem. I think
Mhm.
we see things. Like I don't know if it's like the mental or whatever, but like as it just gets you down and down into that. Like it is weird, Rain, when like professional athletes then go the route of OnlyFans to that degree, possibly. I don't even know,
Mhm.
but I'm just assuming what's there. And then now you're like boxing an influencer. It's like it's just crazy how your life changes. You know what I mean? Like I don't
But
know.
like honestly,
For the L girl, I did research it. She was in law school and all
okay,
that, and then she starts to realize how much money she can make in
can make,
OnlyFans,
yeah.
and she becomes like the 0.01% top. Like she's making 6 to 7 figures a month
Wow,
on OnlyFans.
wow.
So I mean, what? And I found out her mom is her admin assistant. So I mean, you know, money talks, I guess. But it is just weird as like you and I are like in the sport world, or like we love the sport, or we're participating in it. You're an announcer, I'm a commentator, right? We're doing the podcast, like we're in the world. You want people to succeed. You want people to have the best possible.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just weird that I saw Paige VanZant's face on that poster. I'm like, what the hell happened? I thought she'd be bare knuckle boxing again. Like she's good. She hasn't
Mhm.
won, but she's good and she's a star. But I don't know.
Hey, I feel like when opportunity knocks and the price is right, and
Okay,
you
but
feel
there's
like, you know what, I don't mind doing this.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Rain, we talked about it just a little bit. Okay, well, hold on. So then let's talk about one other thing.
Okay.
There's some fighters that have been posting stuff, and then I watch it and it makes me feel bad for them because it seems like they're really sad. And like
Mm.
you can see it. You see it over and over. Like, I can hear. Is it Professor
That was
barking?
Joey. I think they
That's
could
Joey.
hear the mailman. So
Oh, that's fine. So we talk about it sometimes off air, but like sometimes you see like people posting and it gets really negative. Like it's like almost like sad. Here's a post from Jamal Hill, who just lost at UFC 300. And his post was, when you hit a bump in the road, you see who really rock with you. The switch up has been real, but remember, ain't switching back when you on top again.
mm, mm.
What does that mean to you, Rain?
I feel like from what I'm getting from that tweet, it's, there's people who tried to ride with him when he was, about to fight again at UFC 300, hoping he would win the championship, right? And when he
Yeah,
didn't, he lost those people. And then he realized which one of these people were the real ones, the one who would stick with him,
yeah,
whether he had a championship or not.
yeah,
And I feel bad whenever that happens because it's like, it's bad enough that you didn't win, right?
right.
But like to lose the people that, whom you thought you had their support. And then you realize, oh my God, you're just with me because you thought I'd win. You thought you could,
Right.
get something out of me. And apparently not, that's kind of like hard too. But
Yeah,
I'm glad he's realizing who the real ones are in his life because that's a good thing. Because now when you reach that mountaintop again, you know which ones were there for you.
yeah. I think it's really important for you to find the people that are supportive of you for the real reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and people that are supportive of you genuinely. You know what I mean? Not because they want something from you or whatever, but that they're genuinely supportive of you. I
Yeah.
think that that's really important to have, and like a life lesson is that you got to find those people, and you got
Yeah.
to weed out the other ones, you know? I can only imagine like when you're a fighter and you're a champion, and the level of money, right? That must entail, and that if the people riding your coattails are there for the wrong reason, you know? I'm playing the
Yeah.
long game. I'm playing the long game with you, Raine. I'm your friend, because when you become popular, I want to be like, whoa, Raine, I've been there ever since the beginning. Get me my
Tim,
free
who?
ticket. Yeah, god damn it,
Fight
Raine.
Inside podcast, who?
What? I've never heard of it before. Here's another post from someone else that posted this. I won't say who posted this, but this was interesting. This is a post that says, how you do anything is how you do everything, how you show up for loved ones, how you treat strangers, how you organize your life, how you treat your body, your mind, how you're making your bed in the morning. Nothing is isolated. How you do one thing will bleed into every other aspect of your life. Raine, what does that mean?
I honestly agree to that. Honestly, for me, it's like forming habits, like healthy habits, right?
Yep.
And then being disciplined, right? The part we're in, it says how you bake your bed in the morning. When I was a kid, my grandpa, he would always tell me, fix your bed as soon as you get up.
Yeah.
And then I would always get annoyed, right? And then later on as an adult, I realized why, because it taught me discipline. That, hey, as soon as you get up, be disciplined enough to fix your bed before you leave the bedroom. And it just kind of like flows through every aspect of my life. My mindset is that I want to do things now that my future self will thank me for. Like fixing the bed. That's as easy as that. I wake up, I fix
Yep.
my bed. I don't have to worry about it later on. I won't come back in the
Yeah.
bedroom thinking, damn it, I still have to fix my bed. No, it's done. So my future self would thank me that, you know what, Raine took care of X, Y, and Z. So it's all about like, at the end of the day, I feel like we are responsible for, what happens in our lives, right? We have our
Yep.
loved ones, our friends and all that. But at the end of the day, it always comes from within, right? And we can't take care of other people unless we take care of ourselves. And sometimes we just need that time to like heal, relax, and replenish, because it's like, we're all humans, and, if we're not disciplined enough to take care of ourselves, then we wouldn't be able to kind of share that with other people.
Yep. Very well said. It's so important. Raine, from the same person, the same fighter, here's two other things. I didn't put this on the screen, but I'll just read it to you. Here's things that they were posting on their story. This one says, it's like me thinking about literally any point in my life. Quote, yeah, that was a weird time for me. End quote. That's, you know what I mean? Like, just meaning like every time in their life is weird. Like, it's like, that's, unfortunate, because you want to like see the good in your life. You want to see like the positives. Shouldn't be every time in your life was a weird time. No.
Wait, say that again. Shouldn't be what?
I don't know. Like every time in your life shouldn't be a weird time.
Okay.
You do hope that people can find peace and have good times, right? So I'm just saying that quote to me was weird. Here's one. Once you hit a certain age, all you really want is God, family, stability, and peace. Good quote. But again, in the context of this person that kept putting out posts like these, mind you, they're supposed to fight in a month. It's just concerning, because when you're putting out constant like posts about that, about needing peace, needing your own space, there was one post that they wrote about being upset with the followers that they lost. They were upset that people were asking them to do OnlyFans, stuff like that. You can just see that social media pressure and the pressure of people and the pressure of things really must get to people at times.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like social media, it can be an outlet for I mean, it's an outlet for all of us, right?
Right.
Honestly, for me, sometimes when I feel bad, I have to think twice. Should I post, this quote, or should I post this picture or whatever on my social media? Because I know it's not just my family and friends who are following me. There's like, people who like support me as a ring announcer and all that. But then again, on the other hand, I'm like, well, social media is my outlet too, So I feel like if someone can use social media as like a way to just like, hey, I just want to express myself this way. This is what I'm posting.
Yeah.
I think they should do it. I think it's because sometimes it offers.
But you gotta be doing it for yourself.
Yeah. I think I think this person is doing it for themselves. So, if you use it to kind of like it's a sense of like release and relief, I think it's going to be healthy. The other thing about it too is that when you post something like that, and then someone whom you think cares for you sees it and will offer care and concern for you, that's a good thing too.
But if they don't, then what?
If they don't, it's basically like what Jamal Hill had posted. You know who the real ones are.
Yeah. But my worry though is that you post it because you're looking for that validation. You're looking for that help. Like it's a cry for help. And then when it doesn't come, it spirals you worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is like, it may look like I see all your stories, Raine, but sometimes I'm just like whipping by.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the problem too. Like you may go like, oh, Raine saw that story about me, but she hasn't reached out.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't take that as a negative. I don't know how quickly you read that. I don't know where you were when you read it. Maybe you were at a restaurant and you're just quickly scrolling through and you're like, oh, I'll get back to that later. And then you forget.
Yeah.
Like that's my worry is that because when you're putting it out there, I don't know what your reason is. If you're putting it out there and you have no care what happens, you don't care that anyone messages you about it, you don't care, you're just putting it for some sort of like to make yourself feel better somehow. Mm-hmm. But I worry that that's not the case. I worry that when people post things like that they're waiting for something. And then when that thing doesn't happen or come, then they get even worse. Again, this person posted another thing. It's just a black screen, and they just typed, "I wish I could take a day off," with a sad face. Again, it's a fighter who's fighting in a month's time. It's just negative post after negative post, and I'm like, I don't know. And then even if you got fans or supporters of you messaging you going, "Hey, keep it up, champ. Hey, blah, blah, blah." It's like, I don't know that that's good either, because you shouldn't be seeking your validation from people through the screen.
I think it's just seeking for support though. Cause I've done that before and I've posted, "Oh my God,
if you don't get it?
But
what if you don't get it? That's my problem. And then if you're always relying on that support to come from this weird external source, like, wouldn't you want someone to pick up the phone and call you?
Mm-hmm.
If your true friend saw you post something like that, which kind of looks like a cry for help, wouldn't you, like, ultimately, wouldn't you really want them just to pick up the phone and call you, not just send you a heart emoji?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There are people who are afraid to, like, ask others for like help or concern. Like I'm one of them. I don't like asking people, "Hey, could you call me?" or whatever. And it's like I would normally like post on my personal Facebook. I would post stuff like that. And I would just expect people, not expect, but like when people respond, I feel like some sort of relief when they put comments, or when I get a text, "Hey, I saw your message." That to me feels like, okay, these people care about me, because I feel bad asking people for help, because it's like I feel like I'm bothering them. So that's why to me I post stuff like that. Because to me it's like, well, whoever has time to kind of like talk to me, they can call me.
But I wouldn't want you to feel bad if nobody does. See, I don't know. I feel like you're validating what I'm saying, which is that I'm worried when people do that, because because if you don't get that response that you're hoping for, you're even saying you're hoping for that response. If you don't get it, then what happens? I don't know.
I don't know.
In the world we're in, where people are like just scrolling through things so fast, what if your thing just gets missed? What if you get
Yeah.
shadow banned? What if you're shadow banned by Instagram and people don't even see that post and you're just like, why did no one say anything? You
You know what,
know?
you know what's crazy? Perfect example. I would post something like, maybe something like I'm exhausted or whatever, like on my personal Facebook. And then later on, I would tell my husband, "Can you not tell I'm exhausted? I posted on Facebook." And he'd be like, "I didn't see your post. Why can't you just tell me?"
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think like after our conversation last week about the Kayla Harrison thing and then how that kind of spun out online and then the different conversations I was having with different people about it, because it was other fighters that were sending me those studies about the muscle memory and stuff. Like they're like, "Hey dude, check this out, blah blah blah," right? They're sending me stuff, guys and girls. So it wasn't like a sex thing or anything. It was like
Mhm.
both sexes were doing it, both sides, fighters, amateurs, whatever. Very interesting. But then it kind of led into this stuff with like
Mhm.
the negativity and the Jamal Hill tweet and things like that. So, last thing I'll say, one other thing that I was going to talk about very quickly, and then we'll go, was that guy that I said at Bellator, the Sleek Sheik. He was asking for media to reach out to him to do an interview. So I reached out as best as I could. I know you messaged him
I
as
did
well.
too. Yeah.
I'm trying to get this dude on the show because he wrote that Bellator was not covering his expenses for healthcare and what a hospital bills or whatever following his last fight. And of course, that's normally covered by your organization. So he's not in a good mood. Sleek Chic, let's go, bro. Get over here. We want to chat about that and figure out what's happening. Again, Raine, when it gets to the point where you're posting it online, airing out your dirty laundry with your employer and saying, "Hey, media, come find me. I want to do interviews about this." Like, dude, that dude's on a mission to like talk some shit.
Yeah. He wants his voice to be heard. So
Yeah, which is not good. Like, if you're the organization, like, I would really hope that PFL/Bellator is reaching out to him directly immediately, going, "Dude, let's help you. Sorry about that mistake. Let me help you."
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Raine, that's it for the show. News on your end. Congratulations on UNF
18.
18. You did
Yeah.
an amazing job. You were kicking butt. Your social media was going through the roof. You're happy.
I am happy. I am happy. I tried new things. Each show I always try something new, obviously to improve. And I got my second fist bump. It was after I announced the champion, Majali Gay, for our main event bout. He actually walked up to me and gave me a fist bump. So thank you, Majali. Congratulations. And congratulations to all of our fighters who fought at UNF 18. It was so cool to actually have an event in my neighborhood here in the Inland Empire area. We have a bunch of like local fighters who fought at UNF 18. So that's really cool. And yeah, I'm excited for the next UNF show. And I want to congratulate one of our up next fighting fighters. His name is Chris Taco. He actually is UFC bound as of this moment.
What?
So congratulations to him. Yes.
What do you mean? How do you know?
I saw it on social media.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. I will
Reach
hit him
out.
up.
Get him on the podcast for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll hit him up. Yeah. He's really nice. He's one of our champions at UNF.
Okay.
And I remember I talked to him at one of our weigh-ins, and he actually was encouraging me to train. And I said, "Bro, I'm not
Yeah.
athletic." And he's like, "No, just try it." And he's like, "Show me your fighter stance." I was like, "I don't have a fighter stance. I have a ring announcer stance."
Well, your
But
ring
he's
announcer stance is
amazing.
pretty aggressive, so it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I said, so he's amazing. He's a character,
Yeah.
such a nice guy. Congratulations, Chris Taco.
Get him on next week. We'll have him on next week. Bring him on. Let him know.
Yeah.
Let him know to get on.
Yeah.
I don't. My worry would be that he only does appearances on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, because it's Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah. Taco Tuesday. Thank you for getting that joke, Raine. All right, guys, we're out of here. I will say for me, I mean, if you're listening this long, thank you. But Fight League Atlantic 15 is coming up. So we're going back out to Nova Scotia. June 8th, we're going to be in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. It's the Zatzman Sportsplex. Raine, apparently the tickets are almost sold out. So apparently this event is going to be huge. So get your tickets now if you're checking that out. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Go get it. Otherwise, you're going to watch it on pay-per-view. I will be commentating there. I'm so excited. It's going to be a huge, huge card, apparently. So very, very excited. FLA 15, Raine, and I'll be back out on the East Coast. So with that said, Raine, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We'll see you next week. Taco Tuesday, maybe.
Taco Tuesday. Woohoo, let's go.